So I just came from a wonderful share with Rabbi Shai Finkelstein. And in it, he made the statement that other nations create cultures and Jews create meaning. And he actually mentioned that some of the anti Semitism is coming from the fact that Jews have more meaningful lives than the other nations. And when we think about it, we can see this when there are poor Jews in the world, and yet they are quite happy because their lives are spiritually meaningful. And other poor people don't have it so good in a spiritual sense. And so their whole life is filled with stress and worry and fear and financial tension. But even poor Jews, if they're keeping the Torah, they know everything comes from Hashem, and they find meaning in every single thing that occurs to them. So, how do we see this as having played out over the centuries? When I first became observant many years ago, there was a mitzvah that was very difficult for me to fathom. It was a mitzvah called Borer, and it happened only on the Sabbath. And it was a mitzvah that told us to take the good from the not good. For example, if you're eating fish and the fish has bones, you don't take the bones away from the flesh, you take the flesh from the bones. So you take the fruits from the seeds, and you have a world where you only think about taking the good from the not good. How does this add meaning to our existence? Well, by doing that subconsciously, just by doing it for 25 hours on the Sabbath, we end up living all around the world after God scattered us throughout the generations in every single corner of the universe. We took from those cultures, we took good things that we saw and we left the negativity behind. Somebody once asked me, why is it that Israel and the Jews were not given oil by God? And I think that the answer has something to do with Boreh, that God already gave us Boreh. He gave us all the good stuff that we discovered and were taught by the other nations, and we brought it all to Israel. And with that brain power and ability and knowledge and experience, we built a land full of goodness, full of richness in so many areas, and we had no resources except what we had learned to bring with us and our brain power that God had blessed us with. Our resource was God and what He had given us. And over the generations, every Jew outside of Israel was Shomer Shabbos. They did keep this mitzvah, they did keep kosher. And it was only 2 or 3 generations ago that Jews started to not do this. But by the time we built the land, we came, many of us, there were some assimilated Jews, but mostly we came with our ancestors having done this mitzvah for generations. We built our land and we contributed back to nations and third world countries. We supplied them with agriculture, with water, and all good things based on the resource that we had. And with God's help, we rebuilt a very successful land. We can look at a country like Pakistan that has a similar length of history and terminology and in time frames of being around for a similar time frame that the state of Israel has been around, although of course we've really been around for more than 3,000 years, but let's just say that the recent considered state of Israel is the same length of time as Pakistan, and we returned to a desolate land because the land had not produced for any other nation, even in our absence, although there were always Jews living here. But when most of us returned, the land gave forth. It responded to the Jews. It was happy that we came home, and it responded to that. Pakistan is still a mess. It hasn't built anywhere near a successful community as has Israel. Israel is recognized by the entire universe as being almost a threat because we are perceived as being such a powerful country and nation. Even though we endlessly give, but they don't see the giving. They're only jealous of how much success we have and how much meaningfulness we have in our lives. So may we continue to be able to be blessed to give other people what they need and to give other cultures and nations what they need from the resources that we have. And may we all live a more meaningful life in the service of God through the laws of Noah, the 7 laws of Noah, that all the nations can benefit from and have a more meaningful existence with. And may the light of Hanukkah bring meaning and spiritual meaning to all the lives that are in the world today, both Jew and non-Jew. So my blessings to all of you for a meaningful and light-filled Hanukkah.